All right, good morning and welcome to Stock Analysis Friday. Before we get going, I just wanted to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. That's coming up, of course, but we will be here on Friday next week, so please join us. But have a great holiday and a great time with your family. All right, let's jump in and get going here. All right, first thing I want to do is cover a few administrational items. I see people are coming into the room now, which is great. And let's go ahead and get started. I think we had a little bit of an issue on the YouTube channel this morning, but I think we got it squared away. So let me know if you're having any trouble on your end. And yeah, okay, good. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. First thing I want to go over are the risks involved in trading. This is our presentation disclaimer. And I like to start out with this just to let everybody know, in the markets, we work in a realm of probabilities, not guarantees. So it's important for you to realize that. Also understand that when we suggest a stock pick, after I analyze it, please run that by your financial advisor or whoever manages your money to be sure it's suitable for you. I don't know your personal risk situation, and they certainly should. Also realize that we work in a realm of probabilities. So we can't really guarantee anything, okay? A trade setup could look great. It could be an A+ setup, but again, because we're in a realm of probabilities, not all trades work out. So please account for that. Use risk control on every trade, and also remember to always trade with money you can afford to risk, called risk capital. If you need help in the risk control area, I've got 2 great books out on that, and we'll put a link in the recording. Jeannie may put a link in here in just a minute. For you to access our books. But my newest book, The Art of Trading, 2nd edition, came out this year, all right, almost about a year ago. And it has done really well, and it has everything in it. So it's about 608 pages. So it's a pretty big book, and you can check that out. All right, and we're going to be looking at charts using the Applied Reality Trading software, the OWL, PTF, TLM, and ERI. If you want to learn more about how those work, there are videos on that. We'll put the link below. But I also just did a couple of Saturday workshops going over the software in very good detail. So you can check that out right here on YouTube. Also, too, we have scanners, which is that second row of boxes. And then the final row is risk control, which is a vital aspect of trading. All right, give us a like. That helps the channel. And if you like more in-depth on market updates and forecasts and analysis, this includes the Dow, this includes NASDAQ, S&P, and then we have a whole bunch of stock picks in that. You're definitely going to want the MOR report. We'll put a link as well in the recording for that, and Gene will post one, I'm sure, before the end of the session today. All right, and again, don't forget about our Saturday Trading Education monthly workshops. It's basically every 2nd Saturday of each month, and it's 12 noon Eastern or 9 a.m. Pacific time, and we'd love to see you there. All right, and also too, I got the Advanced Price Action Trading Made Easy course out. I know a lot of you have been waiting for that, so it is out. Really good course. It's all about price action. It's all about different concepts of accumulation, manipulation, distribution that occur on all time frames in the markets. And it's about market maker buy and sell models. And then, of course, we're going to cover the usuals, which are the fair value gaps, order blocks, breaker blocks, and things of that nature. So you can check that course out. And once again, we'll put a link in the recording below in the description. It's on our website, so you can go there as well to pick it up. And Jeannie will probably put a link in here before we end. I see the link starting to show up in the chat area. All right, and I think, let me see if there's anything else here. I think that's it. All right, so let me come out of here and jump into some charts here. Let me make sure my cursor is working. Yep, everything looks good there. All right, let me go up and get started here. And Stuart, I think you're the first one here. Before I get in and start looking at your stocks there, let me just make a quick note because I like to, when I can, give something here. I'm going to go full. I'm going to get rid of the webcam so you can see the chart better. But FCEL is a stock that we like, and it's basically has been fairly channeled for quite some time. We had a little bit of a reversal on this yesterday, and it looks like it's following through today. But it's still, if you draw the trend line up from here, okay, you can certainly see that we're still trending to the upside. So this is one you may want to consider. We got a green PTF, which is this indicator over here, indicating more highs coming. So this is one I wanted to share with the group here. We'll take a look at this and we'll go on the MOR report when I think it's ready, but you might want to keep an eye on that. All right, let's jump in here. TDD for Stuart. All right. For a rebound in 2026, bottom fishing. Okay. Actually, what's interesting, there's a lot of stocks that are looking pretty good for a rebound. So we'll keep an eye on those. But for right now, let's see what we got. All right. So our PTF, which is this indicator, you'll hear me referring to this a lot. And let me just go through this. And right now I seem to have lost my marker. So let me bring that back. That's another thing that seems to happen every week. Works great. And then I go live. And then for some reason it has to be restarted. So, okay. All right. So this is yellow right now. And this is our PTF indicator. The PTF indicator has a very high probability success rate. And basically, when it's red like it is here, it's indicating more lows. So you locate the lowest low, which is here. And it's, and so when the prices have rebounded or are doing a profit-taking correction into a fair value gap, notice that the PTF is saying more lows coming, and that's exactly what happened. And now it's yellow, indicating no more forecast. It's neutral right now. So that we usually see when we get near the mature part of a downtrend. So I'm liking that. Let's take a quick look and see if there's any price levels that we need to also be concerned about. And Stuart, I see one here. All right, that may be an area that liquidity is resting. And basically, this would be sell-side liquidity sitting down here. And what that basically means is that there's a whole bunch of retail stops under there. Anybody long may have their stops there. Anybody wanting to go short may have their stops, and both of those would end up being sells. So it's called a sell-side liquidity. So that's possible. We did take this liquidity out here recently, so we may even get a rebound here. But for right now, you can certainly see the rebound has not taken place. So for right now, we'll classify this as one to keep an eye on, but that's a no-go right now. All right, let's take a look at IT.
Bullish pyramid trading point exit now.
All right, so what do we got here in the background? We've got, okay, so we're right down close to liquidity here. That low on the weekly chart is 221.39, and we got 222, so we did not take it out. Okay, so this liquidity down here still stands, and I'll tell you, if they get this close, there's a high chance it's not done yet. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. So I would say it's still, even though we had a little rebound, if it took this liquidity out, I would feel a lot better about that. So far it has not swept that, and that is a major liquidity pool. So I don't think the market makers are going to let that go. So I think the sell side market maker model hasn't reversed yet, and we don't have a change in structure as well. So for right now, IT is a no-go, but again, this could change in a week or two. All right, let's take a look at LULU. And so I think you're spot on in saying this could be a rebound for 2026. Okay, let's see this here. We looked at this before, and we had a lot of liquidity sitting under that red line on the weekly chart. We did get a bounce out of the channel out of here, so that's at least bullish. But let's see, we got a little bit of a fair value gap down here now, and that's what we kind of like to see when we do have eventually a breakout like this. Again, my only issue with this is it did not take liquidity here. All right. Usually when it gets this close, all this movement down is usually purposely going for the liquidity down here. So any long trade you can take here, you've got to be suspect that it may end up reversing out. So you definitely want to make sure if you're long to have a stop in place here. The daily chart's bullish. Okay, we have had a change in structure here. We have had a gap here. If you wanted to go long, I think that pyramid under here is a perfect place, okay? My only problem here is you've got to be careful with the fact that we did not take liquidity out. So I would say, you know, you could go long on this one with a stop under here at 176. I would cut my trade size down a little bit. And because of the liquidity not being taken out on the weekly chart, we did have some sweeping of lows here, but not really. We did not take that out. And you can see that major liquidity is still sitting even on the daily chart way over. So that's the only thing that makes this suspect for me. And we're having a reversal up here, and we have a reversal bar on the weekly. So I think I would probably wait this one out a little bit. It could pull down to this fair value gap, and if it bounces off there, then that's bullish. If it goes through there and closes below that, then it's going down to the liquidity. So again, I think I would hold off on that one as well. All right, thanks, Stuart. All right, Ed, how are you? Okay, MSFT. Let's take a look here. Potential buy. All right, on this one. Okay, so green PTFs on both time frames. That's very good. We like to see that. We like to see the retracement. And I don't think we've got a change in structure yet here. I mean, obviously we don't have any bullish pyramids, but I don't see a change in structure quite yet. So basically we've had this, but it did not break the high. Then it came down here. So let's see if it breaks that high again. And if it does, then that's a bullish sign. So let's take a look at this again next week. Again, I wouldn't do anything with it right now, right? AMR, let's take a look at that one. All right, so you're up 45% on that. And for right now, I would have a partial here at this liquidity level. I would take some out here, okay? Your stops here, you could stay long on this. No reason to get out of this, okay? But I would take a partial here. I think your target can be up here, or at least 50%. Let's just put it right here. So that's another partial or final target with an absolute final target above there. Okay, so that's kind of where I would put it. All of these points here are all areas of scaling out or basically target potentials. But you see, we swept all the liquidity under here. All this liquidity is gone. This was all sell-side liquidity here, 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 here. It's all gone. Swept it all out. Did its job, okay? And we had one more low here. And I imagine on this spring off here, we have a green owl. And at this particular point, nice fair value gap in here. So we even had a little bit of a reversal there, but you got a fair value gap here. And notice how these price bars went down to consequent encroachment and took off. We even have more. So I'm looking really good on this. I think the ultimate target is 408. And I'm liking this. I'm going to put this down as a buy. Okay, AMR. So this is a long, you can put this down as a long, I'll put this down as a long term. Okay. Now, if you're trading it short term, then what I would do on this probably is you use the pyramids and go up as high as you can with it. And if you see a reversal bar, move your stop up for maybe half of your position. So if you get an ART reversal, go ahead and scale out a little bit there. Okay. Otherwise, just use the weekly chart and keep it long. All right. Excellent. All right, let's keep going. Here's a couple of links that Jane's putting up for our Amazon. Okay, thank you. All right, it's back with potential buys on Joby, J-O-B-Y. Whoop, I misspelled that one, J-O-B-Y. Let's try that. Okay, so we looked at this before, and we basically had a break below here, but notice no real close below here. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. So I'm looking at this at this point here, and I'm thinking with the green PTFs, we're going to get a return to a new high. I love the wick below here, okay, that occurred, and another wick here with buying support coming in. Let me just do one more thing here real quick on the fibs. Nice stop here at the 50% mark. And notice we didn't really go below into these order blocks down here. It did wipe out everything in this fair value gap. So that is a rebalance. And the question is, we had a nice move down here. I'm liking this. Okay. I'm liking it a lot. All right, so let's see if we have a change in structure yet. A little bit here. Notice how this bearish fair value gap here held, okay? So let's see what happens with that. I'm going to remove this for now because it's been mitigated. So in the case of this, if you wanted to go long here, your stop's got to go below here, okay? Now, I don't like the fact that it closed below here on this fair value gap. So we may go into a channel for a little bit. So it's a little bit, I'd like to see a good fair value gap bullish one that holds. And I don't see one yet on this move up since the low. So that kind of makes me suspect a little bit. It held here and held here. So I'm thinking, I like the rejection here. I'm thinking this is worth a long trade if we can break out above the fair value gap here. So let me draw that in here because we've got a bearish one here. So you only have to wait a little while. So if we can close above that, I'd go long. So this looks really good, but I would just wait for that. Okay. I love the taking out of the equity here. I like that. I like the move down, but I don't see a fair value gap that's bullish. Let's get above here and we may see one then, okay? So I would say an entry at a close, above 15 bucks would be good. So you don't have to wait long, but that's an excellent one. We definitely as a group want to keep an eye on that, okay? All right, Frank, BFLY. How are you doing? Okay. Long at $2.28, took 80% off with profit. Okay. So what do you need? You need a place to put a stop for the rest of the 20%. Otherwise, I would hold it. You're looking good. Okay. You got in way down here. You've just about doubled your money on this one, really almost. Okay. I'd put a stop right here below this pyramid here, so you don't give it back. You're going to probably, it'll be interesting to see what happens when you get into this gray area on the weekly chart, because that is a bearish fair value gap. And if you took consequence encroachment on that, which is roughly the 50% mark, you might see at $4 or $3.99, whatever it is, you might see some resistance and a sell at that point. So if it gets to that area, all right, and you see a reversal, you might want to take another 10% off and then keep your rest of it under the pyramid, okay? If we break above this and it closes above that, well, then that's really, really good. Chances are we're going up to here next, which is 873 if that happens. Okay, so I'm not going to recommend this one, all right, because we have to see what happens at this weekly fair value gap, but we're talking about $4, which is 50%, which is 50 cents roughly, a little less than where we are now. So, you know, you can take that off, but good job on that one. All right, let's take a look at POWL and potential new buy. If you want to learn more about the price action, consequence encroachments, and what I look for in this stuff, you can, that's what the advanced home study course is. And I think Jeannie put a link in there already on that. So you can check that out. All right, so let's see what we got here. Green PTFs, I'm liking that. I like the taking out the high here. So we're in the final stages of this trend. Chances are we will go up one more time because the PTFs are green, and that has roughly a 75% accuracy rate. On the daily chart here, which is kind of interesting, it's 337, that's 337. So this is your initial probably one more leg up, I think, on this. And I think you're probably about ready for it. So this is 3, 4, inside 5. So this is, in terms of an Elliott wave count, this is wave 5 target. We're in the target. All right, so this is indicating one more high in the target. This is kind of supporting that because we really didn't get a hook yet. So I would imagine we'll get something like that, okay? So, yeah, I think it looks pretty good. We had a change in structure. We broke here. All right, no change in structure there, but, you know, the trend is up there, so you don't want to change in structure. So I think it looks pretty good at this particular point. You got a pyramid here, and let's see it in terms of you got a bearish fair value gap here. If you wanted to wait to get above that, I think that looks pretty good there. But you had, let's see if you had any bullish ones here. No, you didn't. Okay, so you do need to wait for it to get above this. If you have a bullish fair value gap forming early after the break, then you can go long on that. But I don't really see any that are, no, I see none in here. So I would wait for this to get above 353, okay? And then at that particular point, that's a long, it needs to close above there. Okay, so right around 352, let's say, a close above that. All right, otherwise I wouldn't take it because it may hit here and then one more low and then go. Okay, so Powell goes on a watch list. All right, let's see what else here we got. All right. Okay, Gene says, here we go again with StreamYard. I just had to create a brand new presentation today because, and I guess it created a small one too. So use that link here in Jeannie's chat at 9:12 to get to the bigger screen, Ed, okay?
Bearish reversal bar exit.
And then here it is again here. I think you can just click on the link in there. You know, they made some changes at StreamYard, and not for the better, I don't think. Okay, so let's see. We got one question here. Okay, so Gene's answering that. Well, it's not 75%. It's a 75% chance to see price higher than the current price or close higher than that price. So it's the high of in other words, for example, okay, take a look at the green PTF. Let's do the daily, and then I'll show you the weekly on this chart. See, it's green down here, okay? What's the highest high in that green area? Is it here or here? It's here, right? So there's a 75% probability we should break above that. Now, what the PTF does not tell you is when, and when the correction's over, for it to head up there. Okay. So it's really helpful on corrections because you have an idea if it's green, then chances are this is just a profit taking correction and not a change in trend. That's what it's telling you. Now here, notice we got above here because this was the highest high before we took out that high, but it was still above here, above our upper line. So that indicates the green remains. So that's the highest high now in the green area that's still green. And so there's, again, about a 75% probability we'll head higher. Okay. And we have tested that, and a lot of our students have tested that because this indicator has been out for 10 years, I guess, long time. So it's been thoroughly vetted. It's a great indicator. I really, when I'm kind of like, well, what equity do I think they're going to take? I look at this indicator. It's a big help. So even if you just trade price action, that indicator can be a big help. Okay. Hopefully I answered that. Okay. And again, here's the price action course. So there's a link in there. So Gene put links in everything, including the bigger screen for YouTube. Okay. So you can check all that out. All right. Let's see. Let's take a look at this. MVST. And let that load here a second. Okay. So big move down here, but now we started climbing off its bottom. We've looked at this one before. All right. So currently, you know, last time we looked at it, it was a downtrend, and it's still a downtrend. So you don't want to go long here yet. Okay. Do not go long here yet. Notice that the pyramid here, indicating a possible long, still had a red owl. So anytime you go long on a pyramid, you want to have a green owl under there. I did a YouTube video on how to use that before. And this retracement is much deeper than any normal fib retracement. So at this particular point, even though the PTFs are green, we're still moving down. And this is what the PTFs don't tell you. They don't tell you how deep or when prices will return and take out that high. But they are green. So eventually, if you see the trend change, you want to get on it. Okay. So put it on watch list and wait for the trend to change. Okay. All right. RFIL. RFIL. Let's check that one out. All right. So on this one here, no green PTFs, but we no longer have a red one. Okay. So that's a good sign. But we haven't had a change in structure yet. So we do not have a move up. We have a lot of fair value gaps here. Okay. So it could go down a little further. It did clear any liquidity there, sell side. Let's see here. Came close to clearing it there, but no go. But it did clear it here. Okay. Usually when you see jagged edges like this, I don't care what market it is. I don't care what time frame it is. You see the jagged edges, which are nothing more than the wicks. That's a shark attack. Okay. That's an eating at the top. That's manipulation. All right. Somebody up there is going after liquidity, probably sitting right here. Okay. Let's draw this liquidity out here. All right. So when you see a jagged edge like that, they're probably not going to return higher. They've already done the damage. They've already eaten. They've enjoyed all that buy-side liquidity. Now they're going to bring it down. So I would imagine they're probably shooting, well, they're going to fill all these imbalances here. See these fair value gaps here? That's imbalances. They're going to go get that. Okay. They're going to go ahead and take care of that and probably go below this liquidity here, or even here, okay, before they turn it back up, okay? The only reason why they may turn it back up here is this is an order block, okay? So keep that in mind, all right? All right, let's keep going. Thank you. So that's a no-go for a buy, okay? If anything, I think about a sell here. Sell probably would work good here. So I'll put that down as a sell. Short. With a stop above here. So I don't think you're going to get much more than above here. Okay, so that's kind of that. All right, Sue, let's keep going here. All right, Ed, NTL. All right, I don't know if you're long on this, or I would not go long here. I personally would wait for a pullback. Let's just see where this thing could pop. You see, you're in new territory here. So, you know, you've had so many pyramids in a row. Yeah, everything's still green. It's going to be going higher, but you don't know exactly when that pullback is going to come. We don't have any liquidity levels, I don't think, previously for targets. This is new territory up here. So it's, you know, I would wait for the pullback, all right? Because if you go in here, you know, you got some upside potential, but I don't know how much, okay? Okay, let's see what we got here. Let me just also remind everybody on YouTube, and Jeannie, maybe you can find the link where I covered the PTFs. I think we just did that in the December workshop. So that might help him out here. All right. So on this here, let's see, when I see the PTF above a specific price, and also the price has been broken, price higher risk, but hasn't changed above that price. Yes, that's correct. I think I understood. So if it breaks a previous high that the PTF designated as a high, as the highest high in that green area, and the PTF remains green, that again once means there's roughly a 75% probability it will return and take out the high that created or kept the PTF green. Okay. All right, cool. All right, Ed is back. He meant NTLA. Okay, NTLA. And are you long this one or thinking about it? Probably thinking about it, right? I think we looked at this before. Okay, so last week, all right, we were looking for a change in structure, and we kind of gotten it. And notice that the consequence encroachment on this, and I'm going to just open this up so we can take a little bit closer look on this. It's not behaving here. Hold on one second. Give me 1 second. It's kind of, okay, that's what I want to say. But let's draw that better. Okay, hold on. It's kind of flipping out here. All right. I think I clicked too many things. I'm kind of frozen on that chart. Let's go to this chart here. Give that a second to stabilize. Okay, no, didn't stabilize. Still choppy. I don't know why it would be choppy there. There it is. Okay, so let's extend that out. All right, let's see what the consequence encroachment area is on that. All right, did not hit it. Okay, big bounce off it. That's rejection. That's a good sign. All right, so let's see what happens with this. Now, on the weekly chart here, we got a bearish fair value gap. We need to get above that. You definitely have a reason on the daily chart to go long. There's no question about it. So you could do that. And I would put the stop at the bottom of the pyramid, which has captured this order block perfectly. Okay. So go ahead and take that with anticipation of it getting into this block here, which is another 2 points up roughly, or 1.5 points. And then we'll see if it gets above that or not. All right. But if you have your stop, below here, then if this is the beginning of the uptrend and not just a manipulation to the upside to the bearish fair value block, it will continue to go. Okay. And we have a bullish PTF. So I'm going to put this one down as a buy with a stop under, okay, under that pyramid, which is right here. Okay. All right. Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. Okay. And here is the PTF video. Okay. On that. In fact, we covered all the indicators that we call enhancers down there. All right. We even have a fear and greed one, and we usually get a pop off that one too. All right. Did I miss anybody? Okay. Did I miss anybody? I think I got them all. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for finding us after we had to restart the room. Still trying to figure out exactly what's going on with that. But we will. All right. So, yeah. Any more picks? Are we good? Okay. Let's take a look at BTC. Okay, for sure. All right. Let me see here. Bitcoin. All right. So give this a second to get all up. All right. So we've seen quite a move down on Bitcoin. All right. And it really hasn't changed structure yet. It's still in a downtrend. I've got an area here that I'm watching that's in blue. We've got a red PTF. All right. So chances of getting into this area here is about 75%, and that's between 80 and 75. So I don't think it's come down yet. All right. I don't think it's changed structure. Now, where is the liquidity? Right here. Anybody long has got their stop here. They were a long time holder. They were more short term. They've already been stopped out. So there was a lot of equity to get here. Okay. And you can see we took out the buy side's equity here and then tanked it. So anybody getting in when Bitcoin looked wonderful at 125 got caught, trapped to the long side. And that's exactly what the powers that be that run these things want. Okay. That's how they make their money. All right. So now the next liquidity pool is under here. This is your sell side liquidity down here. So there's stops to go short and there's stops to exit any long positions there. So I think there's a strong chance they'll run that before they bring it back up. Okay. So that's my take on Bitcoin for right now. So we'll see. We'll keep looking at it. Okay. The owl did a good job warning us that this was a top. Okay. Over here, bearish divergence. Okay. And it was even in the daily target zone. So now we're switched over to a more longer term scenario. Okay. So that's kind of it on that. All right. Let's take a look at gold. And I'm just going to use the GLD ETF for that. Okay. Because I don't have the futures data piping in here right now. I have futures data, but the problem, it tends to kind of overload the system sometimes. So I have too much data coming in. Okay. So let's see what we got here. So we've got a target on gold, short-term target, 425 to 465. So we're still moving up on that. We have green PTFs. We had a nice micro channel, bull flag on the weekly chart. Here, I'll draw that in. So usually when you have like a micro channel and you have a pause and an indecision bar, you usually get a return. You can draw on your bull flag and take that. So you usually got one more move to the upside, and that's exactly what's happening. So that's kind of where I'm thinking. Now, I think you got to be a little careful because we're starting to see bearish divergence here. All right. If we take out this top, which we should do, I think next week, and probably go into this area here. And then we got to be thinking about a wave 5 top here, which will be a wave 3 top here, right? Okay. So let me just move these here. Okay, so you can see that. So this is wave 3. The owl is helping us there too, but it's pretty obvious. So this is 3. This is 3, 4, 5. So 5, there are 5 waves inside 3. Well, that's a crappy 3. 5 waves inside 3. All right, so that will be the end of 3 when this hits the target up here. All right. So, and you know, look at that. You know, it's funny. Back here, we thought 2011 was 3 and this was 4. And then as soon as the owl got above what this was 3, then this was now recognized as 3. So that's why, at least when you go in the right direction of the wave count, if a 5 turns into a 3, well, you're already long. So you just hold it even longer, right? And there you go. Okay, so that was that. And I think now we might have gotten them
Order canceled
there. And I will do a recap here. Thank you, Ed. Merry Christmas to you and happy holidays to everybody. And we'll be back on Friday, day after Christmas. All right, let me just check that date, make sure I'm right, but I'm pretty sure I am. So yeah, the 26th, which is next Friday, we'll be here. Okay. So a recap. All right. Gene is asking for a recap, and that's a good thing to do. All right. So I think for a long-term trade, we got AMR. Okay. We got for a short trade, RFIL, and a long trade NTLA. So 3. On the watch list, we got JOBY and POWL. Okay, so both of those. Now, again, if you want to go into gold, you can. All right. Your stop needs to be here, and a 1-to-1 will put you in the target zone. So it's not the greatest risk to reward, but that's okay. All right. So I think that looks pretty good. Now, what else? Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, let's take a look at that next week as well. But I don't think we're seeing a rebound right away now. Okay, I think it's got to go a little further down. All right, so that's it for today. I want to thank everybody, and you know, once again, happy holidays, Merry Christmas to you guys. Drive carefully, enjoy your time with your family, and of course, we'll see you back here next week. All right, so have a good one, and thank you so much. Okay, good to see everybody here.